Zum Morgen in der Früh noch ein Opfdavenen mit dem ersten Minion sitzt Reb Shimele Seufer bei seinem Tischel und schreibt. So in the morning, quite early, after davening with the first minion, Reb Shimele, the scribe, sat at his little table and wrote. Der Kopf ist ihm a Kappele schwer von nächtigen doppelten Lechaim, was hat gemacht mit dem Rov soll leben. So his head was feeling a little light, a little heavy. Heavy.
Yeah.
From yesterday's double Lechaim, which he had made with the Rov. He should be well, he should live.
And you always, excuse me, you always, I notice here, you always say, mit dem Rov soll leben. You always after, this is a common expression that you would say soll leben after the Rov.
Not specifically after. You can say it when you speak about anybody.
I think, sorry, similarly, so you can say, soll gesund sein.
Yeah, yeah.
Or auf lange Jahren.
What zum gesund? Yeah. Okay. Let me gain weiter.
In Hebrew, you would say, sheyichye.
Yeah.
Sheyichye. And very often when you write about a particular person, you will say Reb so-and-so sheyichye.
Yeah, that's
and it's a translation, really, direct translation. Okay.
Schon lang.
Schon lang abgewohnt sich von scharfen Maschkois. He's had it was for a long time he's been off strong drink. He's unused to strong drink.
And I was right. It is Mashkayas.
Okay. How about, could you say mashkes?
You could say mashkes, yes. Yeah, you could say mashkes.
I told Golda mashkes. Was I wrong or right?
No, I think you're right. I read it as mashkoyas because there's an aleph there.
Yeah, but mashkes,
yeah.
Mashkes, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Hat es getan nur lekovet Rabbi Yeshayela. Und da ist Afzelahachis schickt ihm Gott zu a Parsha. Schickt ihm Gott zu a Parsha, was gibt sich ab mit a besonderer Klung und sein verschmachten Meuch. So he did it only for the sake of, in order to honor Rabbi Yeshayela. And here, as if to on purpose, God sends him a parsha, which has a particular sound to it in his I couldn't find
in his sickly head. I think I found sickly,
okay, in his
sickly head, in his sickly brain.
Yeah, so it had a resonance in his sickly brain.
Could I-
schreibt, Yeah.
Excuse me, the expression oif zu lahachis. So
Lachis.
lahachis. It doesn't have to do with, you always hear the expression, when it made me angry.
To spite spite me.
To
Yeah,
it
spite
would be.
me.
To lachen, yeah, but also, Janke, I would read it. Wie einfach zu laches, no?
Zu loches. But it
Zu
almost
laches.
means in spite. In spite meaning,
Yeah.
spite meaning to hurt, to trouble. But is that?
Yeah,
is
also
that-
to oppose.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But is-
on purpose.
Yes, on purpose,
On purpose.
because he's giving him a portion. Okay,
No, well, it doesn't have to do with the word kas, to anger.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It has,
So-
it's the same root, yeah.
It's the same room. Okay.
It's the
Yeah.
same root, yeah. Okay. Schreibt die Parsche von der Umreine Weib in Bamidbar.
trial.
Umtrier, yeah, Umtrier. He wrote the Parsha which concerns the unfaithful wife in the Chumash Bamidbar.
That's it.
Okay. Und Gott hat gesagt zu Moshe, zu sagen. And God said to Moses, saying, der red zu die Kinder von Israel und sagt sie also. So speak to the Bnei Israel and tell them as follows. Jedweder Mensch, was sein Weib wird sich von ihm abkehren und wird in ihm fälschen, a Falschung, und ein fremder Mann wird mit ihr liegen, a Lignung von Säumen. So any person whose wife will turn away from him and will be unfaithful to him with a man who is not her husband, and she will lie with him liegen for Zeumen. So she'll sleep with him. That's basically what it means. Okay.
Okay.
Das Herz hebt Schimmelen anzuklappen, wie die letzte Zeit bei solche Parshas. So his heart began to beat faster, like in the previous times when he wrote this kind of Parsha. Bleibt stehen und hat Bedeia weglegen die Gänsene Feder und laufen in Mikveh abtunken sich. So he remained standing, and he had it in his mind that he should run away, that he should lay down the goose feather and should run straight to the mikveh to immerse himself there. Und da hebt auf seine vergräute Bremen und der sieht in Zavulek bleibt
in Zavulek, Punkt erkennen. First-
ja, und Yeah. Okay. So and so here he lifts up his graying eyebrows, and he sees in the alleyway in the Zavulik, exactly opposite his little window, zwei Hint, as Zocher und eine Keva, was haben sich vereinigt und können sich nicht voneinander gehen. So he sees in front of the window two dogs, a male and a female, which have mated and they cannot separate themselves. Speit euch mit Kas, springt auf und gibt Stoß beide Hälften von sein Fenster. So he stands up in anger and he jumps and pushes both halves of the little window. Von schreit wie abanumener. So avon, I think this must be Russian.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means. Probably go away, go away. He shouts out as if possessed. Nor die Klovim seien nicht bekoiig zu rühren von einem Ort, rühren sich von Ort. But the dogs are not able to move themselves from where they're standing. Chapt Reb Shimele sein Stecken und hat bedeia auszulaufen auf der Gas, lernen das tammedicke Porl der Gerets, was kein Busche hat es nicht und kein Gerpe euch nicht. So Reb Shimele grabbed a stick with the intention of running out onto the road and to teach these this impure pair a lesson, to teach them a lesson. And this impure pair, which has no shame and has no und kein Gerpe euch nicht. They have it's a synonym for
Same
shame.
thing, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
shame.
same
It's
thing.
shame.
Yeah.
Right.
Nor mit amol der Monter sich etwas und lässt dem Stecken fallen. But suddenly he is reminded of something and he drops the stick. Stadj macht sich. Tracht sich. Der Eberster hat beschaffen und ich will ihm da sagen, Deus. So how come he thinks to himself, the Almighty has created these creatures and I want to give him an opinion about them, or to say an opinion about them. In der Torah, in Sama Onheb, steht geschrieben. So in the Torah, at the very beginning, it is written, Pru'urvu, be fruitful and multiply. Fruchtbert euch und mehrt sich. So that's a translation of the
Right.
Pru'urvu. Be fruitful and multiply. Zu Menschen, also wie zu Chayes, is das gesagt geworden. So this was said both to human beings and to animals. Heint, wie komm ich als Säuferl von Tfilin und Mezuzas rein zu mischen, sich beschass Gottes Beschäftigten tun sein Gebot und lechzen zu fruchtbaren und vermehren sich. So how can I come as a scribe of tefillin and mezuzahs? How can I come and mix myself in as when these creatures are at a time when these creatures are doing
When God's creatures.
God's when at a time when God's creatures are doing following his commandments, and
You know,
they unlechten.
And
I can't read what I've
and
written.
they're doing exactly that, being fruitful and multiplying.
But yeah, so they're
Yeah,
following his commandments. Yeah.
you know, you remember early in the book with Hanala's famous employer there?
Yeah, I knew that you would come up
Yeah.
with that because you remember
No.
everything.
No. But you know, this whole section is really a playing again of so many of those themes that he's introduced before. And
Yeah.
and
Nechama.
here,
Yeah. When he
Painfully.
wants to say like Zave has thoughts about Hanale, Zave also thinks
See
about
the,
animals and how come they can do all that without ceremonies, without
Yeah.
religion.
without
Yeah.
inhibitions,
Yeah, I knew that you would come up with it, and that's why
Well, you were right.
I waited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. But you know, it there again in the early part of the book, he sees the animals having sexual behavior, and he thinks about it. And here,
Yeah.
it-
Same thing.
Oh,
Same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Nechama, you get an A.
Nah, I ain't looking. I'm not looking anymore.
Looking for an A, I know.
Okay. So shall I read another passage?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
want?
Setzt sich nieder und zwingt sich zu schreiben weiter. So he sat himself down again and he forced himself to carry on writing. Nor etwas schreibt sich ihm nicht, but he actually couldn't carry on writing. Tunkt und tunkt in Tinterol und hat mehrere wegzulassen sich über den reinen Parmet. So he dipped the quill into the inkwell again and again, and he was afraid of beginning to write on this clean parchment. Die glänzende Feders zittert in Hand. The goose quill trembled in his hand. Die zwei verliebte Chayes seien sich erzint zu laufen, jeder in sein Seite, und schreiben schreibt sich als nicht. These two animals in love and now ran away, each one in a different direction, and he still couldn't write. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Nechama, you want to continue?
For sure.
Okay.
Und wenn Reb Shimele beherrscht schon seine Schwachkeit, Herz und Hand beheugen sich, und sein Feder stellt einen neuen, geperlten Eus auf die Ries, der hält plötzlich a benommenem Quatsch von an off. So, and when Reb Shimele finally controls or gets control over his weakness, his heart and his hand quiet themselves, and he puts his feather to write the new letters on the page. He hears suddenly a like Benumenin, like a it's like it's Benumenin is a frightful sound, a quotes from a chicken. Gaat de kok in halb offenem Fenster und der seht a rave Hon läuft mit zerlosene Fliegelen und mit zerschäubeter Federn. So he grabs a look in the half open window and he sees a speckled hen running with like ruffled, is it ruffled?
Spread out
Feathers, and with what is
broken,
disheveled
Disheveled,
feathers.
Right.
A hon, a mazik, jogt sich noch noch. I guess this is the rooster.
The rooster,
the mazik, the devil runs after her. Sein Schnabel is offen. His beak is open. Die Augen verheutelevet. Und der schwarze Eck zerfächert. His debauched eyes and the schwarze Eck. An Eck is the end. So
tail.
what is
the tail,
tail.
the tail, huh?
The tail is waving.
Spread out. I think the feathers are spread out like a fan.
Die fromme Hon geht noch einmal a Geschrei und legt sich von deswegen. The fromme, does that mean the religious, or the
religious hen?
Yeah, it's as if the religious woman, the religious female.
Yes.
She still is screaming, but then
she lays herself down.
Yeah.
You know, there's the wonderful story, the Firma Katz by Yud Lamed Peretz. Anyway,
Yes.
lebt sich von deswegen, sie lässt sich a filu a bistun von Hon inmitten kam und schweigt. So she even permits herself to give like a little bite to the rooster in the middle of the head, and she is quiet. Azoi stark is der mannsbillischer Willen von Tarnigel. This is how strong is the masculine will of the chickens.
I think it's the male that is biting the female here.
All right.
Right, Yankev?
Yeah, I think so. That's how I understand.
He's giving her the bite.
Yeah, that's why as Rick is the mansbildische Willen for Tarnagel, the Tarnagel.
The masculine.
Yeah.
Das Mal geht schon Reb Shimela a Wurf, sein Feder und sein ausgemutscheter Ponym verkrimmt sich zum Weinen. Now this time, Reb Shimela's face, he throws his feather, his writing pen, his feather, and his twisted face looks like he's about to cry. Rabbeinu Shalom verdeckt seine heiße Augen mit der blasser Glonia. Dear God, and he covers his hot eyes with his pale palms of his hands. In a Nesian, willst du mich stellen? You're putting me to the test. You're putting me to the test, dear God. Schon zweimal heint, wie du schickst auf mir on dem Sotten. Already 2 times today, you have sent to me the Satan, the Baldover. Früher,
Yeah.
in Gestalt von 2 Umreihen Chayes und Nazin in Gestalt von 2 kosher Office. The first time earlier in the appearance, in the form, I guess.
In the scene.
In the scene, and the Gestalt is the scene, in the scene of the 2 unclean animals, and now in the scene from 2 kosher birds. Farvus probest du mich azoi stark? Why are you testing me so strongly? Ich bin doch nicht mehr wie a kleine Kerl von dein heilige Teure, nicht mehr wie Blut und Fleisch. After all I am nothing more than a small sofa, a small sofa. Scribe, with for your holy Torah, and I am not more than blood and flesh, blood and meat. Verwusst lost mich nicht ausführen dem Nadel, was ich hab auf sich genommen. Why do you not allow me to fulfill the pledge which I have taken upon myself? Aber euch die zitterdicke Zwiele hat ihm nicht geholfen. But even the trembling prayer did not help him. In Hals is ihm nur trocken geworden und in Kopf neppeldick und heiß. So even this his prayer didn't help him. In his throat, he became dry, and in his head, he became clouded. The Neppel is clouded and hot. Cyril, schreit Plutlung, ois mit a häserigen Keul, der lang mir a Glas Wasser. Cyril, that poor little creature, he shrieks suddenly with a croaking, isn't it? A croaking voice.
A hoarse
voice. Please hand me a glass of water. Wundert sich Cyril sein Tochter. Wundert. She wonders.
Surprised. She's surprised.
She's surprised. His daughter is very surprised. Zum ersten Mal hört sie, dem Taten soll sich etwas wellen beschaß dem Arbeit. This is the first time that she hears that her father wants something in the time of his work. Läuft sie gich zu der Kieler Fass in Vielhuis, kedei zu ton dem Tatens Willen. So she goes quickly, she runs quickly to the cool keg or bin barrel. To the barrel. In the Vielhuis is the entrance, is it?
Probably.
Probably. In order to do her father's will. Jener Tag is gewein a Heisel. Azoi wie es geht sich in Sof Chodesh Elul. This day was a hot day, the way it sometimes happens at the end of Chodesh Elul. Slichos Zeit, the time when we say Slichot. Was bei Nacht steht a kalt Para ibel de Erd und bei Tug hitzt die Sonne. During this time, the Slichas time, at night, there is a cold para, like isn't that a blanket over the earth?
A vapor.
A vapor, a para over the earth. And by the day, the sun is hot. Hat sich Tirla herumgedreht in Stub, a Bovisse in Bloisen Hemd. Oh, wow. So because the weather was like this, Cirilla had gone around the house barefoot in a blue shirt.
No, only Bloisen is Bloisen, only in a shirt.
And an undershirt.
She was only in a shirt.
Yeah, she was half naked, kind of.
Yes.
Wow. Mit Unterkleidel und Fartuch kaum zudeckt, with some sort of an undergarment and an apron barely covered. So it wasn't she wasn't just wearing an undershirt. She wasn't going around like sometimes what you see on the streets here. She had an apron of some kind on.
But
barely.
She was almost covered.
Barely.
But it's not right for a frum Mädel.
Well, she's at home.
That lives with her daddy to walk around like that.
Well, it depends upon.
And she does it naively. She doesn't understand what she's doing.
Yeah. Und azoi hat sie dem Taten der Land das Kile Glas Wasser. And in this way, she handed her father the cool glass of water.
But can I just interject something?
Sure.
She never asks for anything when he's working, so she was surprised.
Right.
That's why she wasn't fully dressed.
That's true too.
Maybe.
Yeah,
okay. That's a good
that's
point.
right, Goltel. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Streckt euch Rev Schimmele sein Hand noch in Trunk und der seht, als die Ohrens bei sein Tochter seinen keilig dick und frisch wie bei ein Emissär Bogres.
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 A grown-up woman.
A grown-up woman. Punkt wie bei sein verstorbene Weib noch der Chassene. Und ihre jüngige Brust fragen sich unter ihr leichten Hemd wie zwei harte Ossienäpfel. Well, there you go. You got it all there.
Yeah.
So, well, it's
You don't have to translate that. We all understand.
Oh, but it's so juicy, golden.
Why? Nechama has a right to.
Okay, if you want to go right ahead.
Okay.
You have my permission.
He puts out his hand. I'll do it, more vaguely. He puts out his hand to get to the drink, and he sees that the arms of his daughter are rounded and fresh, like a truly grown woman, just like his wife right after the chasana. And her young breasts they press under the light shirt like two hard autumn apples. And you remember, this is again, we remember our famous Java and his wife and the scenes, those amazing Friday night scenes.
Same thing. Yeah.
Wählt auf a Zappeltel, springt auf von Tischel und hebt und schreien mit der Quitsch in wie a Benumenel. There's that word again here. So he's totally in a tumult. he springs up from his table and he begins to scream with a shriek like a possessed person. Du
Right.
euch, du euch, du euch, also you, Cyrilla. Oi, Tomer wenig geht achab die volle Glas von Cyrillas Hand, tut Wurf und dreht und der Erd und zerbrecht sie auf Stickelach. So in Tomil Vainik, if that was not enough, too little, he grabs the full glass from his daughter's hand and he throws it on the ground where it breaks into many little pieces. He's bewitched. Oi. Versteht nicht Stirla, was mit den Taten tut sich du. Stirla doesn't understand what's going on with her father. Mit was a Stegel hat sie ihm do azoi der zornt. Und was meint mit du euch? In what way did she so anger her father? And what does he mean by saying, you also? Sie weint sie sich wie ein Kind und läuft in Schlafzimmer, hinteren Pavaren, toliert ein dem Kopf in der Mames Endler, Ellender Bett und klippet. So what is
Tuliet ein.
She
It's
covers.
sticks.
So
Yeah.
what she
Stick-
does
stick.
is
Yeah.
she tries to turn back to her mother. She cries like a child. She runs to the little sleep corner behind the partition, and she covers her head with in her mother's bed, and she sobs. Der Herd, als Cyrilla weint und kann sich nicht beruhigen, hat Reb Shimele das zerkochte Herz genommen wehtun. When he hears that his daughter is crying and cannot quiet herself, his heart begins to hurt him a little bit, begins to bother him. Was hat azoi siehst, nicht beleidigt sein Bas Yechidke. Why did he cause her for no reason, siehst, nicht, cause her so much pain? Was weiß sie, Baruch Hashem? What does she know, Baruch Hashem? Why does he say Baruch Hashem there?
Blessed be he, cause
They're always Baruch Hashem for everything.
for everything.
No, but is it because he's saying she's so innocent, she knows nothing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, but nicht beleidigt, that he insulted.
That's right.
Beleidigt. Thank you. That he insulted his only daughter.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what does she know?
Right.
Und was ist sie beemes schuldig? Was der Eberster provet ihm heint azoi? And why is she guilty? Because the Almighty is testing him so much on this day. Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Noch a bissel.
Noch
Nog
een beetje. Nog een stickerle.
Noch ein Stückle. Ist mit stille Tritt weg hinteren Parverin Ibelbetten. What a great word. So he goes with quiet steps behind the partition to make up with her. You know,
Yeah.
that great
To
song.
ask her forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah, even, you know, that song, Lo mir zag Iberbetten,
Have
Iberbetten.
you?
Yeah.
Bekel does a great job with that. Mit a zitterdicker Hand genommen glätten sie in der Halbdunkelheit. Nicht redendig kein Wort. So with a shaking hand, he begins to stroke her in the half darkness. At this point, I got scared about what was going to happen. And
I was too, yeah.
not saying a word. Well, you remember the famous fur room.
Mhm.
Not saying a word.
Yeah.
Aber inmitten drinnen, wie glätt sie azoi ibren schwarzen Kopf und Betsy ibel. But in the middle of this, when he is stroking her over her black head and trying to ask forgiveness, hat in ihm der blinde Zorn weiter. So I'll finish this section. Hat this blind anger again aufgebläust. It again burst out. Habt on sein Tochterl bei der schwarze glatte Zepp und schlagt sie Kopf und Kissen on der Mama's Kissen. So he grabs his daughter by the black, smooth braids,
the braids,
and he hits her head on the cushion, in their mama's cushion.
Yes.
Soll sich mir mehr nicht der Wegen umzugehen über den Stub a halbnackte. You will not anymore go around the house
Yeah,
half
there,
naked.
der
Right
Wegen is
there.
there. You will not there.
Der soll sich mir mehr nicht der Wegen. Der Wegen
Yes,
is
there.
Okay.
To dare.
Du hörst Chatzufer? What he calls her. I mean, you do you hear? You harlot, you bad woman. Nicht der
Impudent.
Wegen. Yeah, impudent. Okay, impudent is a softer word. Nicht der Wegen sollst du sich. You won't dare do this. Wie der Mama deine will ich dir begraben.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I'm going to bury you like I buried your mother. Lebendigkeit will ich dir begraben. Alive.
Yeah,
I'm going-
lebendiger hate. Lebendiger hate.
hate.
Yeah.
Alive, I'm going to. Now, one question I would ask at this point is,
Yeah.
Reb Yeshayala, you know, she, remember when he came to their house
Yes.
and she did the serving, and
Yes.
and Sirla thought afterwards, why did he look at her at the end of the last section, just before Yankov was reading? Why did he look at her so sharply and then at the father? He already saw what was
Of course.
cooking in that house. Well, did
Of
he have no responsibility?
No, you don't understand that. It's not that he thought evil. He just felt that the man was lonely. He lost his wife and she's a young girl and she's very attractive. It's not, he didn't feel it was appropriate. I don't think that the rabbi thought anything evil was going to happen. It was just in very religious circles, it's probably inappropriate.
Yeah, he wanted to protect the situation. He wanted everybody to be happy. and
He
healthy.
wanted him to get married is what it was.
Yeah, he told them that. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
I still hold him
From the legs.
a little bit.
Okay. Okay, hat sich sicherlich stark geschämt zu erzählen verleiten. So Cyrilla became very ashamed and too ashamed to tell anyone what happened. As a Shana Yid wie der Tate, der Seifer, von dem Tzaddik Reb Yeshayela hat sie geschlagen. She was too ashamed to tell anyone that her father, such a nice Jewish man, a scribe for the sainted one, Reb Yeshayela, hit her. Trastum Pashit geschlagen. Plain and trust.
Poshet is a synonyms.
Yeah.
Simple. Yeah.
Geschlagen, hit her. Sie hat euch gegleibt, als sie hat sich so schlecht aufgeführt. She also believed that she didn't properly, she was bad and the way she
behaved.
Thank you. Nicht wie a jüdische Tochter von a fromme Seifer, not like a Jewish daughter of a religious scribe, nor wie etwas adolphische Schicksal, but like a village non-Jewish woman. Hat sie herabgeschlungen die Trägen und von damals an genommen Anton auf sich, wo a schwer Kleidel, wo Vatoven label. So from that time on, she just swallowed her tears, and from then on, she dressed in a heavy dress, and
a quilted undergarment.
Oh,
No, jacket.
okay.
A libel is jacket.
Oh, okay.
Libel is jacket.
Yeah.
But
Like-
my mommy,
Okay,
okay. Okay.
a heavy jacket, kind nafka minute. No nafka. We all know what a nafka is.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
but then it's not. It doesn't
Not
matter.
Yeah.
No matter.
It doesn't matter whether she. It made no difference whether she was going out to the street.
Oh, okay. Nicht sie geht raus auf der Gas. Sie arbeitet der heiße Kirche, the covered Shabbos. Oh, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
whether she went outside in the street or whether she just worked in the hot kitchen in honor of the Sabbath.
Right.
She's talking about her heavy clothes. On autumn is sie nebach geblieben in ihr schweren Antuchs, without breathing. She Nebuch was left in her heavy clothing.
Right.
Beim Aufräumen in Stub, with the cleaning in the house, und beim Scheiren die Meschene Leichter, or whether she was polishing the Shabbos lights. A bit der Tate soll nicht sagen, als sie geht a halbnackte, as long as her father would not say that she was running around half naked. Aber dem Taten Sister Schna,
Sinne.
Oh,
You know the
sinner.
word sonim. Yeah.
But her father's innocent anger,
Unjustified.
unjustified. Okay. So it is the von Sprache nicht geworden. Did not become easier to take. Adrabe ist noch geworden besser und zerreißter. And on the other hand, he became even angrier and and and
enraged.
more provoked.
okay. Sie setzt sich mit ihm zum Tisch, hebt an Kritzen mit den Zähnen. And as soon as she sits down with him at the table, he begins to gnaw at his teeth in anger.
To grind
His teeth. Ich weiß doch, was du trachtst in Herzen. I know what you're thinking in your heart. He's saying terrible things to her.
Yeah.
You're not going to fool me. Tus mir gleimers zu lieb tust du. You're doing this to me
As a favor.
Yes.
Or on purpose.
On purpose. Später mit der Tag hat sich schon genommen, Scheppen und Siedeln aufeinander laufen. And later in the day, he began to pester her and tease her with something else. Often gesagt, was meant. Openly telling her what he means. Warfen sich herab dem Malbuschem. Trancheche. Throw off all your clothes.
What is Trancheche?
I understood as a dirty woman.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You piece of shit, something like that.
Oh, I don't think he'd say that, but
I think because
it's mean. It's very mean.
It's
the
not
mama's played is also minute tragen. You should not wear your mother's clothes. Are you listening? Der mama's leiblach euch nicht. Your mother's garments also not. So to me, aufhören, sappen mein Blut. You shouldn't keep sappen.
Sucking my blood.
Okay, warum ich dich Mama says,
I'll kill you. You know the word mace.
I'm gonna wound you.
Not kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you. It's another word for hagenen.
Was mehr Zirle hat gefolgt als Speise und Wilde ist der Tate geworden. And the more Zirle listened to her father, angrier and wilder her father became. Just as he zu viel angetan. You're wearing too much. Just zu wenig. This too little. Der Tate hat sich gemacht a Mutter schlagen. Her father began to make a habit of hitting. The episode, a patch, even if it was just a hair, a slap. The episode gerissen, a fadi zep. Maybe he would pull a hair out of her braid. Angehabt war an Arm und geworfen auf der Podlage. He would grab her arm and throw her on the floor. Bis Zirle hat mehr nicht gekannt aushalten und ist gefallen dem Taten zu den Füßen und genommen Klagen und Weinen und Betten sich. Until Zirle couldn't stand it anymore, and she fell at the feet of her father, and she started complaining and crying and begging Tate, mit was hab ich sich so versündigt, was du hast mich Feind gekriegt? Dad, what did I do to you to get all of this hate that I have from you? Was peinigst du mich? I say, why are you treating me this way? Ich bin doch nur a Kleinige. I'm only a child. Ich bin doch a Yesima. I'm an orphan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Before-
Goldele, there
before-
was some, there, you are brave to read all this.
Do you know that when I read yesterday in Kolya's class, he said Matu can't wait until I come to the Yiddish week so that I can act.
Ah,
Yeah.
don't I remember? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But to
Just-
panic, yeah.
Panic is torture. Was
To torture.
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 Yes.
Was panic?
Why are you torturing me?
torturing me? Yeah.
Mm. Okay,
I'm
so
just-
Okay.
before we continue,
Yes.
this V'epis ahor
Yeah.
means for no reason, for no rhyme
Yeah,
or reason.
for whatever little trifle,
Yeah.
a horse, a little for whatever little thing, for whatever little trifle, an insignificant thing,
He
Yeah.
he
gets
reacted
crazy.
violently. Yeah.
The word
Yeah.
whore means a small thing.
No,
A
no, a
whore is a
whore is
hair.
a hair,
Mean-
but here
I see. It means in this
it's
sort of
a
idiomatic form.
little something.
or a little
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
Ist Reb Schimmele gekommen zu sich von einer solchen bitteren Werte. Der Panem hat sich in Modne geklemmt und die tief versunkene Augen haben sich zerglied. And so Reb Schimmele came to himself. He,
Yeah.
and because of the words that she said, such bitter words, his face suddenly became a mudness, strange, sekrimmt,
Crooked.
yeah, und die tief versunkene Augen and the deep sunken eyes suddenly shone.
Yeah. Goldele, you want to
Tochterke.
read more? You read a page.
No, you read now.
Oh my God.
Tochterke.
Okay. See, he's not.
Tochterke.
Yeah, I'm reading. He's not it's not, it comes out as if he's mean to her, but I see it the way I look at things. It's a projection of himself. He's telling her that she's, I know what you're thinking, but it's really what he's thinking, not what she's thinking. Yeah. Anyway, Tochterke, Machter, nicht dich schlag ich, dem Jetzerore schlag ich, dem Waldover, was lässt mich nicht leben, was lässt mich nicht verendigen, Reb Shayele Sefer Torah. My little daughter, he says to her, no, it's not you that I am beating up. It's the
The devil.
bad inclination. The
Evil.
bad inclination. It's the devil that I hit. The Baldavar is another word for that. The devil, the Yetzirah, was that devil that doesn't let me live. That doesn't allow me to complete the Sefer Torah of Yeshayel Sefer Torah.
Can I ask, excuse me, the word Baldover. So the master of the thing, or
Yeah, this is
It's a euphemism.
an expression. This is a name that they use for the devil, the Yetzirah,
Yes.
all these things.
Yeah.
but
A
it's
euphemism.
a euphemism, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Master of
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
There's a few others for that. Ich soll dich nicht schlagen, weil ich von Sinnen herabgehen. If I weren't hitting you, I would go out of my mind. Los sich, Tochterke, los sich. As if, allow me, my daughter, allow me. Let me do that. Ich muss zu immerzen auslösen dem Kass meinem. I have to take my anger out on somebody. Wein nicht, don't cry, panic mich nicht. Don't cry, don't torture me. Hat sich Zirele gewöhnt, erschrocken vor dem Tatens wilden Cook. So Zirele got scared by the way, the frightening look of her father. Aber sie hat sich fortgestärkt, behalten dem Pachad in Herzen und gefolgt. But she still cheered herself, got strengthened herself. She strengthened herself, and she hid the fear that she had in her heart, and she listened. She obeyed the fault. She obeyed. I guess she let him hit her. Mit Geduld von einer Erwachsener und mit tiefer kindischer Liebschaft hat sie von Demolton aufgenommen, dem Tatens Beleidigungen, dem Tatens reißen sie vor die Zepp. Okay. With the patience of a grown-up and with a deep childish love, she since then accepted her father's insults, her father's pulling her race. She did not complain, did not cry, and didn't even sigh. As long as the father could calm down. Aber der Tate hat sich nicht beruhigt, but the father did not calm down. Sie ist geworden noch ärger. It became even worse. Ihr Untertänigkeit, ihr Geduld und ihr Verschweigen haben herausgerufen a verkehrte Peula. Her like obedience, her submission, her submission, her patience, and her letting him.
And the opposite, the
Yeah, they brought on exactly the opposite result. Die Schlägereien seien geworden öfter, the beatings became more often, happened more often. His throwing her onto the floor became even stronger, angrier.
More angry.
More angry, yeah. You can say angrier, right, in English too.
No.
Yeah.
More angry.
More angry, yeah. Well, yeah, I remember.
Not angrier.
Lesson of adjectives in English, yeah. Okay. Und einmal inmitten der Nacht ist Reb Shimele go aufgesprungen von seinem Gelege und genommen Trasten in Tirol von ihr Zimmer. This is terrible. And this is the worst. And one time in the middle of the night, Reb Shimele jumped out of his bed and started screaming by the door of her little room. Dein Tier sollst du verriegeln, Chatzufe. Your door, bolt up your door, shut it off. Shut off your door, you impudent woman. Yeah, she is the impudent one, yeah. Dein Tier sollst du verriegeln. Shut off your door. Du hörst, you hear? Warum ich will rein, ich will dir memesen? Because I'll come in and I will kill you. Nicht tot, nicht lebendig, ist Cyril zugelaufen zum Tier und verketelt. No, half dead and half alive she was at that time. By that time, Cyril ran to the door and she
Shut it.
shut it.
She chained it.
Oh, yeah, kite.
What were
Golden
you
kite.
saying, Yanke?
Yes,
Chained.
kite.
Chained it,
She chained it.
like the golden Kate, you know, the.
Yeah,
the-
yeah,
Yeah. I see. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't
Yeah.
say it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Das is
Das ist gar
I
nicht,
don't see it.
gar nicht.
Go, yeah, okay. Das ist gar nicht, schreit Reb Shimele hinteren Tirl, mit dem Kredenz verspart. Mit dem Kredenz. This is nothing, Reb Shimele screams behind the little door. With the credenza, shut it off. With the credenza. Like block it.
mhm.
That's what it is. Yeah. Block it up. Is that okay? Ozirele mit alle Keuches zugerückt dem alten Kredenz zum Tirl und verspart. So Ozirele obeys. She with all her strength. She moved the old credenza to the door and blocked it. Von wann es hat sich in ihr genommen als eine Gewure, weiß ich nicht. From where she had such strength to do this, she didn't know. Upon ihm der wilde Schreck hat ihr zugegeben, also viel Koach. Apparently, that great fear, it was that great fear that gave her so much strength. I don't know how anybody can write like this. A ganze Nacht hat sie der noch gezittert auf ihr Geleger. An Augen nicht zugemacht. The whole night she afterwards was shaking in her bed and she didn't close her eyes. Und zum Morgen in der Früh beim Teetrinken hat sie sich gestarrt und fortzuwenden sich hoch auf den Kohl. And on the next day in the morning, while drinking tea, she got stronger and stronger and still cried in a loud voice. Tate, glaub schon mir euch nicht, Father, you don't believe me too? Wie Aganefte soll ich mir einsparen inmitten der Nacht? Tate, like a thief. Should I close myself out in the middle of the night? Daddy.
Mhm.
Krechts op der Reb Shimele ader Schlogener. So Reb Shimele is sighing, the distraught Reb Shimele is sighing. Chas v'sholem tochterke, nicht dir, dem nicht guten glaub ich nicht. God forbid, my little girl, it's not you that I don't trust. It's the no goodnik one. That means Yetzirah again. But Davar Yetzirah, and this is now the nicht good. Another name for this. It's him. It's my evil inclination that I don't believe, that I don't trust. Spar sich ein, Zirele. Alle Nacht sollst du sich also einsparen. Close yourself inside, Cyril. Every night you should just close yourself inside. Du hörst, you hear? Allen Kenach, every night. Es ist gleicher, es ist eine Sache gleicher. It's better. It's better. It's a lot better this way.